It's the Blue Jays This Week vodcast. Ben Ennis, Mike Wilner, whose voice is on the mend.
It's almost all, last night I felt the first time I could really punch it. Yeah, wow.
No more voice cracks or anything like that?
It never cracked.
Oh, it never did? It's
croaked.
just croak.
It never cracked.
What's worse, a croak or a crack?
If anyone wants to go back and listen to the tape of the Blue Jays pregame extra from Monday.
Where you had to call an audible and just...
Yeah, where I just bail. Yeah. I mean, that's about some of the funniest radio. I sounded like... I went on the air, 15 years ago when I was still working at 680 News doing sportscast. I had pneumonia, and I didn't know it, and I came into work and tried to get through a night's of broadcasting. That's pretty much close to what it was.
Oh, my goodness. My biggest fear working in radio was always that I was going to get a case of hiccups and not be able to get rid of it in time. It's never happened to me either. I've had hiccups like up to a couple of minutes before my updates when I was doing that at Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Anyways, let's talk about this Blue Jays team, which has got you all choked up. They're on fire right now. We're at Rogers Center.
Since I lost my voice, actually. The game that I had to bail, that's the last game they lost.
Is there a coincidence?
Since I've come back, they're undefeated.
Wow.
Yep.
I wonder if there's a correlation there. I can tell you what
I think there probably
is more likely is that they're actually getting starting pitching.
No, I don't think that's it.
Well, agree to disagree. All right. But they're getting great performances from guys like Chien-Ming Wang and Esmail Rogers. And now Wang's first start wasn't outstanding, but he did enough to keep them in the game. Yeah,
right. He still
so many times that we've seen some blow-up outings where guys give up that amount of runs, but they're done in like the fifth or the fourth
or the third,
to at least save the bullpen.
And it's funny because this whole thing kind of started, and I don't mean the win streak now, but this whole long, slow climb back to 500 kind of started with that series in St. Petersburg, where in the second game, Mark Burley gave up 7 runs in the third inning and still took it into the 7th, and they came back and they won that game.
Yeah.
Since then, they've got the best record in the American League East.
Yeah.
So,
but the baseball they played before the Rangers series was, it was good. It wasn't outstanding good, though.
They've won 9 of their last 11. It's not just 6 in a row.
Yeah.
They're 10-4 in June.
Yeah.
They've been playing much better baseball ever since that May 4th game where R.A. Dickey got pasted by the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah.
Since that point, best record in the AL East.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of this win streak. It
was a huge hole to climb out of.
Oh, yeah. And they're still climbing out of it. But as we sit here and speak right now, they're 5 games out of the second wild card spot.
What day is it? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, June the 18th.
Tuesday. Wow.
They're 5 games out of the second wild card.
Yeah.
So they've been playing a lot better. It's not just this week, but this week has helped a ton. And you look at these 6 games, like you said, starting pitching, every single one of the games, except for one, the starting pitcher has gotten them into the 8th inning.
Now, I think I saw this on Twitter, and you're
probably wrong.
Well, and you might have been you. I can't recall.
That's probably right.
But Blue Jays starting pitching has allowed 1 or no earned runs in some ridiculous, I think, franchise record amount of games, maybe 5 straight games now of this 6-game winning
now
streak.
You're going to make me think.
I know. That's always a mistake.
It helps with the fact that it's easy to think about the Texas Rangers series because the Rangers only scored 2 runs off the starting pitching in 4 games.
And
then the first game of Colorado, so that would make it 5.
Yeah, there you go.
And the last game of the Chicago series was not because that was Chien-Ming Wang.
No, and that was Jose Bautista tying it up.
The starting pitching has been phenomenal. It really has been.
Really good. You know what else has been good, but all season long? The bullpen.
Oh, boy.
And you know who's been great? Brett Cecil.
Yeah.
He's got some great glasses as well. We got to talk to Squints. Here's that chat.
Brett Cecil was one of 2 Blue Jay relievers this year that got within 2 outs of a virtual combined perfect game. 25 up and 25 down. Casey Janssen did it in April and May. You just ruined it with an intentional walk, but you're 1 out away from a virtual combined no-hitter. I mean, while it's happening, obviously you just know that you're going out there and getting your job done. But when it piles up like this, how's it feel?
It doesn't feel any different. I'm still trying to get out there and get outs as quick as possible,
So you're telling me that the guys in the bullpen, they're not shying away from you, not talking to you because you got the no-hitter going?
No, it's a lot different when you're in the bullpen. It's not as big a deal.
It would kind of suck if you went a month with nobody talking to you because you had a no-hitter going.
I wouldn't last too long down there if nobody was talking to me. I'd feel lonely.
Every time there's a no-hitter or a perfect game, there are always these defensive plays that jump out at you to save it. And Adam Lynn made one for you last night on that Carlos Gonzalez rocket.
Yeah, absolutely. My defense in the last couple of games has helped me a lot to You know, in Texas, Nelson Cruz dribbling down third base line, and D-Row, like it was nothing, just picked it. I mean, I love that guy. He's just I mean, even before that, I'm not just saying because of that. Just the personality in the clubhouse and you know, personality on the field. You know, some guys, you know, like last night, bases loaded, he gets a little chopper, and you know, not a real fast runner, but you know, some guys, you know, might see get a little jumpy, like, oh, I got to hurry up, slow roller, but no, he's real smooth, real, you know. So I mean, it's just great to have him on the team. And, definitely last couple games, defense has helped out a ton.
Brett, you're obviously no stranger to the bullpen. You were a closer at Maryland, but Blue Jays tried you out as a starter. You had some pretty good moments as a starter here, but how is it going back into that bullpen mode? Are you kind of almost reliving some of your moments with Terrapins?
No, these moments here are better.
Yeah.
No, the transition's been really easy. It's a lot easier going from starting to the bullpen because you don't have to build up. You actually have to, you know, break down, if you want to put it that way. So, I mean, the transition's been, you know, really easy. And the only thing I had trouble with in college was throwing too many pitches to get ready to come in for one inning. You know, I remember going into my pitching coach's office. My pitching coach was Jim Farr. And I said, you know, my arm, it's, you know, my bicep, my tricep, it's sore. It hurts. So like I don't think anything's wrong, but it's sore, it's fatigued. He goes, well, how many pitches are you throwing in the bullpen to get ready for the game? I said, well, my usual, you know, 35, 40. He started laughing. He said, you don't need to get ready like you're starting a game. He said, you need to get ready for your one inning. He said, do everything to get your body warm without throwing a pitch. So, I mean, he gave me a box of just little 2, 3, 4, 5 pound dumbbell weights. I mean, a jump rope, tubing. I mean, you name it, it was in there. He said, do this, do that, do a couple sprints. And I mean, sure enough, I could get ready in 8 pitches and not even need my other 8 pitches out there by the time that was all done. So it's made it a lot easier.
The one thing that you must still, I mean, remind you of college is the rush, right? Because, you know, it's different in the big leagues. The big spots are bigger and the big games mean a lot more. But you're put in a big spot to get a big out, just like back then.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, I love those situations. I feel like I thrive off of them. And, you know, I don't go into this situation thinking, you know, oh no. It's more like, yeah, let's go, let's get it. And, you know, I think it's just, you know, I have the right mentality for this.
Brett, the All-Star game is approaching. It's tough for middle relievers, I know, to get votes, especially from the fans. But you look at the numbers, I think you certainly belong in that group that could be at the All-Star game. Is that something you've thought about at all? Has anyone mentioned it to you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, wife has mentioned it a few times. She's mentioned it, you know, a few people on Twitter saying it. It's not something I think about. I know it is tough for you know, middle and late relief other than a closer to make the All-Star team, but I mean, if I do, that's great. If I don't, then I'm looking forward to the 4 days off.
The Blue Jays this week hired Jamie Evans, who runs that Way to Ball program. Steve Delabar did it. You've done it. It's kind of like a little stealth move to make sure he doesn't work with anybody else in the big leagues. How much has this thing meant? What has it done for you?
It's done wonders for me. Obviously, I mean, it's given me the confidence. Just you know, obviously, it has nothing to do with your pitch's movement or anything like that. But just, you know, like I've said before, all a pitcher wants, and my perspective is, they just want to feel good. They don't want to, you know, I don't want to go into pitch and arms a little tight, or, you know, going for a start and, you know, you're hanging, you gotta, you know, bust your butt to get through 5 innings, you know, and it's, you know, and that, I think that alone boosts my confidence, you know, 100 times. And, you know, obviously with the velocity back, you know, it's getting the outs when I need them. It's, you know, obviously it's another big boost.
There he is, Brett Cecil. All-around good guy, like we always say when we interview good guys. We only have good guys on,
you know,
on the podcast.
The best part is when you watch an interview, when you see that they're enjoying it, you see that you can make them laugh. I mean, that was great. Also, by the way, you can't vote for pitchers. Fans don't get to vote for pitchers in the All-Star game. I didn't want to correct you right in front of Brettrick.
But you'll do that in front of the millions watching on the vodcast.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You're unbelievable.
There goes Dante Bichette.
Anyways, but the players and managers.
You know, by the way, if Dante Bichette had been hitting third for the Blue Jays in the early 90s, doing what he did in Colorado, while Joe, instead of Joe Carter, when Joe was driving in 110 runs every year, he'd have been driving in 190. That's how good Dante Bichette was those years.
We just went off on a tangent. I say we, but it's Mike just went off on a tangent.
These are things that I do.
Good for you. Anyways,
Brett Cecil's been really good.
Yeah, really
and
good.
as we said
after
the interview, I want him to get one out, not end an inning, just come in to pitch the eighth, get one out, and have JP run out and grab him and Gatorade. It's a no-hitter.
Sure.
You have to celebrate a no-hitter.
That would be tremendous, though. He's had a great season. It's not just against lefties either. He's striking everybody out.
When you retire 25 in a row at one point, I mean, there are more righties than lefties in there for sure.
Oh, no question. He has been a big surprise when I think a lot of people were questioning whether he'd even make this team out of spring training. It was not guaranteed.
If he had options, he wasn't going to make this team. The only reason that he was guaranteed a spot on the team was he's out of options. They didn't want to lose the asset, and look what they found. Darren Oliver's going to leave and may even be traded. Who knows? Because the Blue Jays, even if they get back in the race, they've got all this bullpen depth with a bunch of guys coming back, and with a couple of guys they have found a late inning lefty who's reliable, and more so than that, he's dominant. Yeah. I mean, we kind of hoped that Sergio Santos would take over the eighth. They got
Juan Perez as well.
Well, let's not get too excited about Juan Perez, but they've got Aaron Loop as well.
Juan Perez.
We thought
many lefties.
Santos and Darren Oliver.
How many bullpens and we're getting
they got 4 lefties, don't they?
Yeah,
right now.
Which
is another reason you might be able to trade Darren Oliver later in the season. I don't know if you do, but if you're thinking about it, if you want to make a move to try to up the ante, though, again. If you trade Darren Oliver, you have to trade him to a contender, and if you trade him to a contender, you're not going to get something that's going to help you this year, so never mind. But Brett Cecil, going forward, Darren Oliver turns 50 next year, can easily step into that spot and be your dominant late-inning left-handed reliever.
And great glasses as well. Speaking of another lefty, Adam Lind, the subject of our Ford Leaders in the Field segment.
Ford Leaders in the Field. Presented by the 2013 Ford F-150, Canada's Player of the Year for 47 years running.
All right, so Adam Lind is the subject of our Ford Leaders in the Field segment because...
Can I ask you a question about Adam Lind?
I can't imagine I'm going to have an answer for this, but go ahead.
That every day now on Twitter for the last week and a half...
You want me to explain Twitter for you?
I've gotten 20 to 100 questions about when's Adam Lind going to have enough at bats to plate appearances to qualify for the league leaderboard. Why is it so important though to people that he be on those leaderboards? He's having a great year. Let's appreciate it for what it is.
When Brett Laurie broke in, they wanted to know if he's still a rookie. Did he qualify? People
Why are these things important?
They want to see their guys at the top of lists. They want to see them leading. Anyways, you need 3.1 plate appearances per team game played.
Right.
So he's zoning in on it.
At the end of the week, probably he'll be there.
And now that he is playing against all comers and the lefties, I mean, throughout his career, he hasn't proved that he can't really hit lefties all that well. Even when he was having his good seasons, there was a pretty pretty significant split there.
Yes.
Now Colby Rasmus is not that way. He has had pretty similar splits.
He's had
lefties
years where he's been better
righties.
Against lefties.
Exactly.
Full seasons.
Exactly.
Lind never has.
I mean, you see his approach against lefties, and you'd like to think that it can continue, but
look, when you're 13 for 25 against lefties, you're obviously doing some stuff right. Matt Thornton strikes him out, and at that point in time,
you thought, "Oh, this is."
Well, no, but that made Lind 0 for 9 lifetime against Thornton with 8 strikeouts.
Yes.
So they bring him back in the next night. He's Lind kryptonite. And Adam Lind blades a little single over shortstop like nothing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's so huge to see in him. That this guy, who he just didn't have a clue against for his whole career, all of a sudden now he's waiting back. He's not, he's hitting the ball where it's pitched, and he's taking that extra half beat to make sure he can get a good piece of it. And I thought that was great. Now, I don't think... if you leave Adam Lind in as an everyday player for the rest of the year, I think his OPS against righties is going to be at least 100 points higher, if not 200 or 300 points higher.
You have to keep running him out there now.
Absolutely, right now you do.
Yep, and it seems the Blue Jays not afraid to keep running Edwin occasionally out at third base as well,
which is smart thinking.
Yeah, although for game 2 of the Rockies series, it is Adam Lind as the DH, right? So.
One of them, I don't know who's the DH, but Mark DeRosa is playing third,
But anyways, Adam Lind on absolute fire. This guy's voice is back. Doesn't he sound great?
It's not quite back yet.
Sounds okay.
That sounds okay.
Anyways, send him some get well messages on Twitter at Wilderness590. You can follow me on Twitter at BennisSnet. Don't have an audio podcast for understandable reasons the last couple of weeks. You did a good job getting through this. Yeah, we'll be back doing the audio podcast as well. We'll see you next week.